All right, look at that. You can see like half of my face. Let's come around here. All right, there we go. Hey, how's everyone doing? Louise and Beverly are in the house. Thank you for chiming in and saying hello. My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and this is Monday Afternoon Live. We get together every Monday afternoon and draw a landscape, and I'm glad you're with us today. Today we're going to draw this great picture of a pumpkin stacked on top of a bunch of books that's stacked on top of a bike. So it should be a great fall picture. It's going to teach us a lot about perspective. I'm going to show you a little bit about using a perspective grid that helps you get things all tightened up without knowing where the vanishing points are. How about that? That's like a great way to do it. All right, so let's get right into it. I am live right now, so if you have any questions, just throw them into the chat and I will be happy to answer them. But I think we're ready to go, okay? Okay, so let's first, before we get in our picture, let me change the color here just a little bit. I always like my color a little bit on the warmer side than cooler. Let's get rid of this and let's talk about a cube or just drawing things in perspective, okay? First thing I want you to do on your page is let's do this. Let's go ahead and take, let's go with 2 dots, just like this, okay? Try that first. Then in between the 2 dots, put 2 more. Make sure these are like pulled out much further away, okay? Don't make them perfectly even like this. We don't want that. We want the 2 wide ones pulled away. And then just connect the dots here. Just like this. Easy, right? Take your hand, get an idea about like this, and I'm just going to put the 3 verticals. Now the length of these verticals doesn't matter at this time. Just throw them down on your page, okay? Throw them down on your page. Let's put a little dot right there. You see that? Now, in perspective, what would happen? This is what's going to happen. This line right there, that edge, and this edge are going to converge. They're going to come together at some point way off to the right here, you see? Well, this bottom edge also has got to converge in that same spot. So what we do is we draw this angle, all these angles, so that they eventually will all combine at the same spot. And believe it or not, your eye is very good at trying to guesstimate that, and that's all we're looking for is a guesstimation of that point. Okay. All right. The other side is the same. So this is going to go back in this direction. Okay. Something like this, and then this bottom one, that is also going to converge up there, you see? So when we draw any type of square or building that is all going to be like perpendicular and squared up, this is what we want to remember. We want to remember the concept of fanning things out. This is all fanning out from a vanishing point somewhere off to the right, all right? So that's basic perspective, okay? We're going to use that on these books today. All right, let's talk about a perspective grid now, all right? So look at this is, we're going to call this A. This vertical is A, this vertical is B, and this one is C over here, you see? And if I end up taking like the halfway point, and I'll visually just kind of guesstimate where that is. I'll take the halfway point on A, and then the same thing with B. It's at the halfway point between I'll change the color here so you can kind of see it better. You know, here's the top and bottom. The halfway point is right about there. And then I just connect the dots. And I can do that again. Halfway, halfway. So what happens is I start to create a perspective grid on that side. Well, you'd want to do the same thing for the other as well. All right, there's the halfway point. We connect those two there. That looks pretty good. And then we halfway, we keep dividing things in half. That way we could draw something like this without using a ruler. All right, so easy, right? Put that in the back of your mind. All right, let's bring our picture up now. And I'll show you how this will all come in. I'll show you how this all works together. All right, first thing I wanted you to do is I want you to draw kind of a border for your picture. And it would be helpful for you to try and match the same proportion as your photo there. Okay, so this, just so you know, I'm not, the size that I'm working on is only about 4 inches square. So if you are trying to do this on a gigantic sketchbook, now just take a corner of it. Just make your square a little bit smaller, okay? Okay, so let's start with the bottom and then move up, all right? So here is the, look at that. That is the bottom corner of that book. Do you see that? Right there. Whereabouts in our picture do you think that point is going to be? Well, if I look at my picture, I'm going to first straighten that up maybe a little bit. Let's see. I'm kind of a little bit sloppy here, but that's okay. All right. It's going to be right about there. Okay. All right, next thing, let's kind of establish where this, and just use your best guess, okay? Just estimate it. Don't use a ruler, just estimate with your eyes. So I'm going to put this one maybe about right there. Okay, look at this. This one right there. You see that one? Okay, so whereabouts is that one here? If I come over here. Now this is interesting. Look at this. If I take the whole width, this will be helpful. The whole width of the picture, and this is about halfway point. That part of the book is on the other side of halfway. You see that? So it's going to be right about, let's see now, here's mine. That's about my halfway. It's going to be somewhere over here. Maybe like this. All right, these three points are what's going to dictate the rest of your picture for you. Okay, let's go ahead and lightly connect those dots. And then let's connect those dots. So like the cube now, look very lightly. Now this is going in this direction here. This is going to converge at some point, and I'm just slightly angling it just a teeny little bit. I don't want to make them parallel. I want them to be kind of like wedging out or starting to converge. Now look at this guy here. This guy is going off in this direction. And this one needs to converge with him. So we just have to maybe bring him in just slightly, just like that. All right, next. If I go too fast, you got to tell me. You got to tell me to slow down. Because I can't see you guys. All right, look at this point up here. What we're going to do is slowly build this box, okay, with all the books. And this is going to be a guide for us. So let's see, how is that? That's kind of coming up there. All right, so there's a rough side like that. You see that? And then now look how the bottom of the books, it's stair step. That's okay. We'll come back and make that. But right now, I just want to get in the top, an imaginary top edge like this. You see? Okay, so like before, look, it's going to a vanishing point. All right, now this is also going to go to the vanishing point, but we need to make sure that those two sides are eventually going to converge. That's going to a vanishing point, and then this also is going to go to the same one, so we got to make sure this converges. So you could see that if I just extended my paper, eventually they will match up. These are guides. This is a guide. These are guides for our books here. Okay. I'm back over here now. That top edge has got to converge as well. So we're going to just kind of guesstimate it. You see? All three of those lines are going to all come together. And I'm just kind of estimating this. This is all you have to do. And the other side as well. I'm going to go ahead and erase these arrows because I don't want them to be in my picture. And I'm also going to erase some of these lines on the inside here, you see? So there's our cube. There, those are where all of our books are going to go. Let's go ahead and draw our pumpkin now. So all we're just going to do is put a round sphere, just like that. We're in the phase of our drawing where we're using construction, okay? Getting all the construction lines so it will all come together. Now, here's the interesting thing. Our bicycle is at a slightly different angle than the books, okay? So, where it's going to be set up a little bit differently. So we're just going to, I'm just going to put like a line here. Now this line is not going to go to the same vanishing point. I'm more concerned that these represent the bike. We'll come back and do that. That's about all I'm going to put in for the bike right now. We'll come back and add that a little bit later. So just so you know what's going on in my mind, these, I may not, if I was sketching this, I may not draw all these lines because they're in my head. So that's why I'm showing you of what's going on so that down the road when these tools, you get comfortable with them, you won't need to put them on the paper all the time. You just know, you can envision them. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm gonna erase some of these other marks so now we can kind of get an idea of where our books are. And for helping us to keep things in track, let's find the center halfway point. Let's draw a grid here. Halfway point there, and then halfway point there, and you can put those two together. As you can see, I'm erasing all my lines on the inside here. All right, top and bottom here, this is about the halfway, so we can kind of connect that. Okay, let's go ahead and start with the bottom book, all right? So this is gonna be a little bit curved there, you see? And then we're gonna come down with the back of the spine. Then we're gonna come up here. If I look at our picture, the book is extending just beyond the edge there, and the pages, there's a little bit of a curve to them. And then we have a curve on the other side where the spine is. Look at that. Okay, you ready? Ready to keep going here? All right, our next book is pretty thick. So it's actually, if I go toward the front here, nice, a little bit of a curve there. And I'm gonna, now it's a little bit shorter than the other one. So instead of going to the corner, I'm gonna come short, just like this. Now don't jump ahead now, watch this. I'm going to turn the corner here. And then it goes straight up. This is a tricky one. Look down here at this bottom book here, right at this edge here, it's going to go behind. You see that? Ooh, look at that. Okay. All right, we have another book. It's not quite as thick, so we'll start at the top again. Nice little curve there for the spine. We're going to come down a little bit, and that's also running short a little bit, right? Turns the corner. Okay, I'm going to erase some lines now. I'll give you a minute to get caught up here. Thirty more seconds. All right, let's go ahead and we got another book now, and so let's make another round binding, and this one is almost the same as the one below it. It does come in just a teeny bit there, so we're gonna come up here maybe. We have our last one. That's actually a little bit bigger. Okay, so we're going to make that go over. A little bit different than what we've done before. Okay. Let's erase some of these lines here. Okay, great. Now look at, this is interesting. I'm going to make an adjustment here. Well, first of all, in my drawing, I've proportionally made the books much bigger than they actually are in the photo, which is fine. But the size that I drew my pumpkin is too small. So, for example, look at this here. I'm look at this kind of the edge of the pumpkin. You see the distance? And then from here to the top of the book. So the size of that pumpkin is almost 2/3 the size of the book. Where in my drawing, I've got it just about half. So I'm gonna make an adjustment here. I'm just gonna erase some of this pumpkin. And I'm going to make it just, I'm going to make them a little bit bigger. Okay, let's put a strap in for that book, and all we're going to do is follow the surface. Okay, so coming in lightly, here's the bottom edge. I'm going to follow the top of the book there, and then it comes all the way around. There's a slight curve of it. You see, go across, and then another slight curve, and then cross the surface. And that, of course, is going to be covered by the pumpkin in just a second. Okay, we've got this metal clasp on that book strap, and then look at that, the buckle part. You see that? So let's see what's happened with the buckle. It's almost like, if I come down here, it's like a J. You see that? It's like a J. And then the second one is almost like a U. It comes all the way around here. I'm going to go ahead and erase some lines. So I don't get confused. Oh. I don't know. Sometimes I mumble to myself. I just caught myself thinking of a past event from 3 years ago, and I started like working through the dialogue. And then I realized, wait, you guys might be able to hear me think. Oh boy. All right. This is what you get from a dad who draws, right? I might have to go back and edit that. All right. Let's keep going. I hope you got a laugh out of that. Okay. Let's think about where the stem is going to go here. All right. Stem on that pumpkin is going to go right about there. Do you ever do that? Do you ever talk to yourself? Oh, boy. All right. Coming around the corner here. Sometimes, it's like, have you ever heard of like your draw and you get into the right, no editing, all right. So you ever get like in that mode where they sometimes call it the right brain mode? Well, all of a sudden, as I was drawing here, I just totally dropped out. It dropped out, and I just started drifting off as I was drawing. I started drifting off, and then all of a sudden I came back. I thought, wait, you're live. You're teaching a class right now. You're not drawing by yourself. Oh boy. All right. Well, that's the way it goes, right? All right. Let's go ahead and add some surface lines. Surface lines, look at this here. if I take a tree trunk like this, I always show this example. If I draw a surface line, I can make it look like it's round by drawing these little lines here. All right, that's something to remember. So let's add just a couple of them to our stem to really give the idea that it's going back in space. I'll tell you what I was thinking of. It was kind of funny, and maybe my quiet ramblings to myself will make sense. I was wait, I gotta turn that off. Okay. I was at a job and I was complaining to a boss. We'll just leave it at that. All right, come on. We got our pumpkin going down here. Let's go ahead and get these, I don't know what they're called, ribs? Ribs on the side of the pumpkin, huh? So let's see. Let's come over here. There's going to be one right in the middle there, you see? I'm trying to make those little rib areas uneven. Oh, Beverly, you'll be okay. Listen, just remember that drawing is something that takes a lot of time. So I don't care what your worker looks like right now. I gotta say this: the fact that you're on here trying to get better, this is exactly where you should be at. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your picture looks like. I guarantee you that you are learning, all right? You are learning something new. Okay, great. Let's keep going here. So these books have lighting coming from all different sides. So let's kind of change it a little bit. So let's say that the lighting is coming from the right side. So that means that we're going to add a little bit of tone on the sides of these books. And then the same thing with this pumpkin here. It's going to be from this side over here. So we're changing the lighting just a little bit from the picture. All right, let's get this book rack here now. It's going to be, we're going to make this slightly different than the picture here. But it's but that's okay because we're just trying to get the concept. You don't have to follow your reference all the time. All right, let's keep going here. Let's get this wheel in, okay? So now this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for here. Let me see if I could help you do this. All right, look, the wheel is entering that right there at that side of the page. Okay, so I'm going to put a little mark here. I'm just going to put a little mark on my page that the wheel's coming in from right there, and then it's going to exit. Oh, kind of right here. You just see that? So I'm going to come over here and say it's going to exit right there. And the other thing is the height of it, it's going to be kind of like in here. So I kind of got my entry point, I've got my height, and then where it's going to exit. And I want a nice curve. So in order to get that curve, I'm going to draw from my elbow. All right, so here we go. And we'll hold my pencil lightly. And what I'm trying to do is copy this curve. Okay, I can already see that I need to make it a little bit more arced over here. Okay. Do the best you can. All right, let's jump up, get this bike seat in, okay? Look at this now. This is interesting. The back of the bike seat right here is above the books. All right, that's great. That's a great measurement here. So let's come up here. There's the top edge of the book so that bike seat is just about there. Now this is also going to go to that same vanishing point. Good, Missy. I'm glad I'm not alone in my madness. I've had my wife Jackie go, "Are you talking to me?" I was like, "No, I'm talking to myself." All right, look at this. I'm curving. I made that square. Now I'm kind of curving the back end so it takes on the shape of that seat. So a lot of times in drawing, what we'll do is we will take like a square, and then we'll kind of round the edges, and then we'll create something that has more of the round edges. It's almost identical to like a sculptor. A sculptor is going to, or a wood carver, they're going to like carve their object down into squares and planes, and as they get closer, then they start smoothing out the edges. All right, so there's my seat coming in on top there. I'm going to add a tone, an overall tone to that seat. Look at that angle right there. You see that angle? That's the, oh, what do they call that? It's not the neck. I can't remember, but it's coming in here. Now, one thing I'm doing that's helping me, and this is really good to check out. Look, there are certain tools of measurement that we use in order to get our proportion right. So one of those tools is looking for negative space. Look at the negative space between the books. You see that? This is the negative space between the books and that gooseneck. All right, so that's something that I could try and grab here. So let's see if I come around there like that. All right, it's maybe about like that. You know, if another thing too is, I'm just thinking out loud here. If you're having a hard time with it, that's good. That means you're learning, okay? And it's good to challenge yourself and make something difficult. That's when the real learning starts happening. Okay, so I can see it has a reflector back here. Look at that nice little reflector there. And then at the bottom, right here at that where that goes into that frame down below there, you kind of have a Y. You see that? It's a Y that's happening. So this one is going. This one's going this way. And then you're going to have another one going this way. And I'm just kind of guessing those right now. Okay. All right, let's get that book rack attached to our bike. So let's see. I'm going to be right here, and I'm coming straight down with a bar like this. On the back here, I'll see another bar like this. And then up here toward the front, there's a bar that, let's see, what is it going on? It's just kind of going directly to one side. And look at this. Mine's a little bit off. Well, it's more than off. It's really off. But it's just giving in this scenario, we just want to give the perception, we just want to give the idea of what's going on here. All right, let's get the fender here. Look at that. The fender's coming around there like that. It's coming out that back way right there. Okay, look at that. Hey, I forgot to mention, do like and dislike and subscribe to the video, of course. That's important. Another important thing is if you haven't downloaded my 10 sketchbook habits every artist should know, you really should consider doing that. And I'll tell you where I'll put them. I'll put them in the link in this video down in the comments below. As soon as we're over, I will post a link where you can download those. So if you haven't downloaded those, they're free. Check them out. These are all the 10 habits that I use to help me really hone in my skills over time of just being consistent with drawing. And that's going to be the best thing you could do in order to get better, is be consistently drawing a little bit each day. So at the end of the video here, I'm going to go down there in the comments. I'll pin it up that you can download. Click on the link, fill it out, and download the 10 sketchbook habits every artist should know. All right. Okay, we're coming up on top of the hour here of our hour. So let's see what we have here. Let's go ahead and start adding some interesting detail to our books. So there's one that is, look at that, there's one that's darker in color, dark green. So let's kind of come in here. I'm going to add a darker value to this book right there. And I'm going to add some surface lines that describe the binding of the book. The one at the bottom is also dark green, so we'll add an extra tone to that. Our second book on the stack, that also needs a tone on its cover. And then on some of these pages, I'm just going to add some lines, light lines. Okay. One thing I want to do on my pumpkin is I'm going to add tone, look at that, all the way around the bottom here. But then I'm going to add the bookmarks. What bookmarks? Oh, I see them. All right, we'll do that next. So then look at this. On the edge here of this pumpkin, I'm going to add a little slightly darker value. This is going to give the sense that this is a core shadow, and it's going to make the pumpkin look really round. Okay, you want to add the bookmarks. All right, Sharon. Let's see, third book up. We have one right there. Okay, and it's coming out. That looks good. And then there's another one above it, I think, right about there. Now that's a lighter tone, but I'm just going to make that dark too, because they had a discount. They had a discount on green bookmarks. Oh, the ribbon has a twist. Curious. All right. Fair enough. You saw that. I was trying to ignore that. So let's do that. But I'll tell you where I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it over here in the corner. All right. We'll do that over here in the corner. So look, that's where our bookmark starts. All right. Coming down here, this is where it ends. It's going to have a twist in it. So now something that you can't see what I'm doing is when I am going to draw a nice curve, I always draw from my elbow. So I'm going to turn I'm going to turn my sketchbook. If this was a sketchbook, I would spin it on my desk. And so here we go. I'm going to come along here and connect this just like this. I'm going to go across the way. No. I won't ignore it. And then this one, look at this. This goes across the way. You see? And so then this would be a little bit, this might have a different color, different value here. All right, that's how you would do it. Did that satisfy your curiosity? Figure out where, get the right angle of its, at one point, right? And then come all the way to the bottom to where you want it to go, and then just cross over. And then you can add, add the little thrill at the end if you wanted to. All right. Yes. Okay, I think that's going to be it for today. That should kind of get you going there. I didn't really put much in the background, but simply you can, this is a fall picture, so we can give the idea that there are fall leaves, and you could just add a little bit of a tone up into the corner like this, so you're looking through at something. But that's what we got. Hey, thanks for watching, everyone. My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws. Now go out there, make your day great, and we will see y'all later. All right. Great comments. Enjoyed the banter. Bye, everyone.